Picture this. You stumble into the emergency room, clutching your chest, every breath sharper than the last. The fluorescent lights overhead feel blinding. The smell of antiseptic burns your nose, and the world spins as you lean on the counter. You're desperate, scared, and you finally make eye contact with a doctor. For a split second, you feel relief. You're in the right place. Help is finally here. But instead of being rushed to a bed, instead of hands grabbing at equipment to save your life, you hear a cold, bureaucratic question. Do you have your insurance paperwork? That chilling exchange is what witnesses say defined the final hours of Anthony's life. A 42-year-old man, healthy-looking on most days, but on this night he was pale, sweating through his shirt, struggling to form sentences. He collapsed against the reception desk as staff glanced up from their screens. The nurse noted his distress, but asked again for the card, the paperwork, the proof. Anthony gasped, clutching his chest. "Please, help first, wallet in the car." His words broke apart under the weight of the pain that surged through his body. The doctor on duty wasn't new. He'd been practicing for years, well aware of the protocols that governed every decision. Hospitals had rules. Insurance companies had audits. Every file needed to be perfect. Every patient logged and coded before admission. And so, even with a man begging for air, the doctor hesitated. He asked again. He insisted on the documents. Minutes crawled by like hours. Anthony's body trembled. His wife, who rushed to the hospital after his frantic call, found him slumped in a waiting room chair, beads of sweat dripping from his forehead. She screamed at the staff. "Look at him! He's dying! Do something!" Her cries cut through the room, but the answer remained the same. "We can't proceed without the insurance card." It was surreal. Other patients and visitors watched in disbelief. One man later said it was like watching someone drown while the lifeguard held a clipboard. No one could believe that the simple absence of paperwork could stand in the way of saving a life. Anthony tried to sit upright, tried to stay conscious, but his body gave in. Hours after he first walked through those hospital doors, he collapsed to the floor, motionless. Suddenly, the urgency returned. Nurses scrambled. Crash cart wheels squealed against the tile. And the doctor who had asked for paperwork now barked orders to save the man he had delayed. CPR, defibrillator pads, frantic voices shouting numbers. But it was too late. His heart had stopped. Anthony never woke up again. The shock that spread across the community was instant. Headlines painted the picture in bold, horrifying words. "Man dies in ER waiting room over insurance card." People poured into the streets, holding signs that read "Life before paperwork" and "Healthcare is a right." News stations replayed the story again and again, asking the same haunting question. Who was responsible for this man's death? Some pointed straight at the doctor. To them, this wasn't complicated. The duty of every physician is clear. Save lives first. Policies and procedures come later. They called it criminal neglect. They said he valued bureaucracy over humanity, and that his hesitation cost Anthony his life. Others defended him. They said hospitals don't exist outside of the system. Insurance rules are strict, and mistakes can shut down entire departments. If the doctor had broken the rules, maybe he would have been fired. Maybe the hospital would have been fined. Was it fair to pin all of this on one man? When the system itself was broken, the courtroom became the battleground. Prosecutors painted the doctor as heartless, a man who cared more about policies than a gasping patient right in front of him. They played recordings of the 911 calls, testimonies from witnesses who described the disbelief on Anthony's face as he begged for help. The defense, on the other hand, argued that the doctor was simply a professional bound by the rules of his job. They reminded the jury that breaking protocol wasn't just a matter of personal choice. It could end careers, bankrupt hospitals, and cause chaos. Anthony's wife sat in the gallery every day, clutching tissues in her hand, tears streaking her face as she listened. In interviews, she said, "He didn't die of his illness. He died because people hesitated, because rules mattered more than his life." Her words resonated with many, sparking debates across dinner tables, classrooms, and news panels nationwide. Was the doctor guilty? Was he reckless, negligent, even criminal in his refusal to act? Or was he just another cog in a flawed system, forced to follow rules that should never have existed in the first place? The debate grew louder than the courtroom itself. Some argued this wasn't just about Anthony, or even the doctor. It was about the state of healthcare, about how access to help often depends less on need and more on insurance, about how, in moments when seconds matter, bureaucracy can steal lives. Others said rules exist for a reason, and that singling out one man ignored the bigger machine that created the situation. In the end, the case left more questions than answers. No verdict could bring Anthony back. No headline could soften the pain of his family. But his story became a symbol, a haunting reminder that sometimes tragedy doesn't come from illness, but from hesitation, from choices, from a system that forgets what it means to be human. So the question lingers, long after the headlines fade. Was the doctor guilty of neglect, or was he another victim of a broken system? And in that ER waiting room, when Anthony begged for help, should rules have mattered at all? For more chilling true crime cases, subscribe to our channel, Guilty or Not.